Because when you are in B2B sales, you have to understand something. These things take time. This deal I just closed in New Mexico took 7 months. When we made contact, I've been calling on them for 2 years without any contact. Finally made contact. They have a value of the product. It takes 7 months to close. 7 months. And that's with people who want the product. Some of these big opportunities that you're chasing, it's gonna take time. You're gonna have to stay on them. You're gonna have to build that connection on the call that makes people want to buy in, not just to the product, but to you. And you're gonna have to play a long game and build a relationship along the way. So the faster you can make connection with people and the better and more efficiently you can make a connection with people, the better off you are and the better opportunities you will have to close deals. Hello, ladies, gentlemen. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thank you so much for listening to this podcast or watching on YouTube. If you are watching on YouTube, which you should be, please like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. It helps this channel. I really would appreciate it. I wanted to film this episode today. It's a bit of an impromptu episode. I don't have a full layout set, but I just got back from New Mexico where I closed a pretty good sized deal. And I feel like this last week, I saw some things come to light about sales that I've always known, but I really saw it like come into truth. And I think it's very common that you hear that sales is all about relationship. And I think that's true, but I think we've heard that so much that it's kind of like watered down to us. It's like when you ask someone how they're doing and they say good, it's like, you don't really think about it. And I think that's kind of what's happened with that phrase. Sales is all about relationship. So I want to rephrase it. It's the same exact meaning, but I want to rephrase it. I got to stop hitting this mic. I always hit this mic every time I talk because I'm so Italian that my hands always go everywhere. I want to rephrase it as sales is about connection. Connection is better than just relationship because connection gets more to the heart of what we're talking about. Connection. There's kind of like this idea around sales professionals, and it's something that we've sort of earned because of how we go about sales, is that salespeople are manipulative, right? Salespeople manipulate you into making decisions. And I do think that's true a lot of the time. But what I'm looking for in my sales career and in my sales process is connection. So I like to say manipulation is domination, right? It's where you are really using tactics to enforce what you want into the prospect's brain. And let's not get it twisted. There have been times where I've had to dive into manipulation to get a sale. It happens. But I think what we all are really looking for is connection. And connection is a dance. So instead of me dominating my prospect, I'm just leading them in a dance to a decision that ultimately is going to be better for them and will get me paid. And so we're looking for mutual beneficial outcomes, not just I get a beneficial outcome and whatever happens to you is whatever happens to you. And I think that mindset around sales has really like helped me become as good as I am today, because I'm not trying to manipulate anyone into anything. When I go into a sale, I legitimately don't need for this to close, not at least internally. I have a detachment from it and I'm looking more for who do I connect with? Who do I vibe with? And so today we'll talk about some concepts. This won't be a full topic on connection, but it's something I'm working through right now. How do you really connect? I think the number way to connect with anyone is to make them feel seen. People feel like their job often is a thankless job. It doesn't matter if they're CEO of the company or if they are a busboy at a restaurant. People feel like they don't get any appreciation. No one recognizes them. No one recognizes the struggle of their life. Like this week when I was in New Mexico, I was at the hotel. I was eating the hotel breakfast. Was it the best breakfast of the world? No, it never is. I was watching the lady who was preparing the breakfast. She was the one who kind of cooked all the food, put everything out there for everyone. I walked up to her and I said, hey, I just want to want to thank you for preparing breakfast for us. I really appreciate it. And you should have seen the way this lady's face lit up. It was like she went from to full smile, full like lit up, total change in demeanor, right? And then the next day when I went back out for breakfast, guess what? She gave me a free chocolate milk and she brought me my food. I didn't have to go to the counter to get food. She literally took it out to me and brought it to me without me having to ask. She knew exactly what I wanted. She paid attention. And she even said to me, she says, no one ever says thank you. And I think that's just sad. I think that's just sad that nobody takes the time to recognize people for what they do. And so I always try to thank people for what they do for work. And this actually helped me close a $50,000 sale one time. I was working with a lady who was over purchasing of certain medical products. And for years, she would not like talk to me. She would just brush me off the phone. She would just not want to engage. And it was frustrating because the one thing that was holding us up is she just wouldn't give us like the current price of what she was using the product for. Like if we got the price, I knew like we could probably match, but I just need to know the price. It's not even a matter of this. I just need to know the price. Never would give it to me. Then one day I called her out of the blue and I think I got her on a good mood. And I asked her, I was like, hey, listen, like, what do you do for, like, what does your husband do for work? And she said he does road construction. Now, keep this into context. This lady is in her 60s. Her husband is easily in his 60s. If you've ever done blue collar work, it is so hard. What we do on a day-to-day basis, I think we think that what we do is difficult. It's not. Road work, where you're out in the hot sun and you're constantly having the hot sun beaming and you're picking up rocks and you're breaking roads at 60 is insane. So I said to her, I said, listen, hey, tell your husband I said thank you. I really need roads and I appreciate him doing that work. Now, I just said that. I wasn't like trying to schmooze her. This was not an attempt to kiss her ass. I just sincerely like believe that deserves a thank you. I believe in seeing people and seeing the value in what they bring and not thinking that I'm so special because I'm a top sales rep, but looking at what other people do. And in that moment, you could literally, and I was over the phone with her, I could feel from the phone just all of these walls that she was putting up just breaking. And she finally gave me her price. And we closed that deal in like 2 weeks, right? All because I took a moment to see the value in her husband. I could immediately empathize with her. She's working hard. He's working hard. She's probably dealing and seeing the health, the result of his health probably in poorer and poorer shape as the years go by. She sees the back-breaking work he's doing every day. And nobody appreciates road workers or blue collar people. Seeing someone and making someone feel seen is absolutely essential, I think, into building rapport, into building that relationship, into building that connection. All of us want to be seen for what we do. How do you make your prospects feel seen? And so when we go into the discovery questions, when we have to ask and we have to learn about the business and we have to figure out their processes and qualify and further qualify and get some consequence questions in there. The goal shouldn't just be to understand the business. The goal to be to understand the person, to understand what makes them tick. So if I'm asking questions like, hey, do you have any kids? Yada, yada, yada. A lot of the times that's a waste of time. A lot of times you're just having small talk, but for me, I'm not having small talk. I am trying to understand the person I'm selling to because understanding their personal motivations will help me leverage that to serve them greater in the call. Right? Hey, we'll get back to the video in just a second. I just want to let you know I have a 12-week sales accelerator program. If you are in virtual sales and you are trying to get into the top 5 of your industry, why don't you click the link below? It's right there in the description, right where it says click here for coaching. Set an appointment. We'll see if it's right for you. All right? Let's get back to the video. Right? It's not just like, oh, that's just da-da-da-da. No, I want to understand you so I can see you, so I can see what you've accomplished. And one thing I think is really, really true is in order for this to be sincere, you have to have a sincere curiosity about people. right? Or it's just going to come off fake. And people are remarkable. Like the things you will discover about people just by talking to them is crazy. Just think of all the life experiences you have had, right? Like you might not even think your own life is remarkable, but when you actually sit down and start telling your story to someone who's willing to listen, it's fascinating. You know, I did missionary work by myself when I was 15 in Mexico. I've done a whole bunch of crazy stuff. I lived in Mississippi for Katrina relief when I was a kid. I grew up with a minister father who did prison ministry. I've grown up my whole life around prisoners. I've grown up my whole life around incredibly manipulative people. I know exactly how to spot it. I had a family very, very young. I worked full time. I've almost lost battles. Like there's stuff in my own life that's like I don't think is interesting, but when I tell it to other people, it's incredibly interesting. And if you start asking people about themselves, the walls open up to just so many stories and so many life experiences. People are fascinating. And if you have that belief that people are fascinating, it's going to be easier for you to make a connection with them than if you just like don't care about people. You know, Zig Ziglar has a statement that he says, people don't care. People only care when they understand how much you care. And for years, I resonate with that and never fully understood that. But at this stage of my career, I really understand that now. I understand that Zig was right. When you really care about the other person and you really want their success, everything is easier on the call. Like you will radiate this sort of vibe. You will radiate this serving mentality that people really want to connect with. You know, I had the opportunity when I was younger to work at Chick-fil-A. And that really, working at Chick-fil-A really taught me the value of politeness, of serving people, of going up that extra mile. I carry that even throughout all my career. I carry that with me, that same Chick-fil-A mentality of taking my service for people to the next level and really trying to serve the person on the other end of the counter. And when you go in with that mindset, it's just you get so much more from people. And one thing that I'm very proud of in my career at this time of my career, and this hasn't always been true, but I've noticed that over the last 2 years, this has become a regular thing, is that all the things I was afraid of, confronting objections, pestering people on calls, following up consistently. I used to be so nervous that people would think of me as a nag or an aggressive salesperson. But now, in this stage of my career, do you know what I hear people say for answering their objections? You want to know what they say now? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for staying on this. We really appreciate your tenacity about this. Hey, thank you for answering that question, a concern I had. I probably wouldn't have done it if I didn't see it from that angle. All of us, for years, I was afraid that I would be seen as this nag. For years, I thought that people, I would push people too far and they're going to be pissed off. No, that doesn't happen anymore. Very rarely is anyone ever pissed at me for anything. And it's not because I don't use the same tactics. I have probably some of the same word tracks that a lot of your most popular sales trainers use. I am the most insane follow-up person you will ever meet in your life. I follow up with people 3 times a week if we've got a deal on the table. I do not let it go. I send them an email every 3 days. I'll call them every 3 days. I'll call them every day if I have to. I follow up like a mofo. I do not stop the follow-up. The follow-up is where you make the most amount of money. And people get worried that they're going to be seen as no, people love me for it. Because when you are in B2B sales, you have to understand something. These things take time. This deal I just closed in New Mexico took 7 months. When we made contact, I've been calling on them for 2 years without any contact. Finally make contact. They have a value of the product. It takes 7 months to close. 7 months. And that's with people who want the product. Some of these big opportunities that you're chasing, it's gonna take time. You're gonna have to stay on them. You're gonna have to build that connection on the call that makes people want to buy in, not just to the product, but to you. And you're gonna have to play a long game and build a relationship along the way. So the faster you can make connection with people and the better and more efficiently you can make a connection with people, the better off you are and the better opportunities you will have to close deals. And you won't have to be worried about or nervous about answering objections, following up, staying consistent. They won't see you as a pest when they like you, but they also have to trust you. And so as you build your rapport and as you build these connections, you're not just building an affinity for you, but for a trust in you. How do we build trust in a prospect? We be radically honest and we set real expectations. I don't tell anybody that my product is product that came from the heavens and was delivered by an angel to earth and we didn't know anything about it. No product out there, no service out there, no offer out there is perfect. Okay? They all have their weaknesses. Every offer has a weakness. I don't care what it is. But the more open you are about the weaknesses of your offer and acknowledging them, the more trust you gain. Because people are tired of sales professionals who just give them a spiel about how perfect everything is. Nothing is perfect. They know nothing's perfect. And what you do when you kind of address that, you know what you end up doing? You prevent objections. Because they understand that, okay, there's limitations to this thing. Everyone knows there's limitations. They're not going to object as much. Because you already got them in a mindset of, you need to work this program in order for it to be successful. And if I don't work this program, if I don't do the training, if I don't do any of this stuff, it's not going to work. So you put the ownership of your product onto your prospect. That's what ends up happening. So if you want to build radical trust, just be honest. You have to have this mindset that you are there for them. They are not here for you. You are there for them. You are there to serve them, whether it's life insurance, whether it's a medical sale, whether it's real estate, whether it's a high ticket offer, whether it's a mortgage, whether it's technology, whether it's a machine. You are a shopping partner for them. That is what you are. You are their agent. You put yourself last. You know, there's something that Jesus said. He said, the first will be last and the last will be first. And it sounds like a paradox, but the older I get, the more experience I have in business, the more I learn, the more I see that being true. Putting yourself last and putting others ahead of you and their needs ahead of you, you end up becoming the person who is exalted. And that's also when you start getting referrals. When you can make a connection, you can see someone for who they are and acknowledge that and give them a sincere compliment, thank them sincerely for what they actually do and the real value that they have. When you can be radically honest with someone and you're there for them, that's felt. That's felt in their hearts. Again, you can't script this. I'm not against scripts, but we get so big on word tracks and what combination of words we use, when really what we need to do first is make sure that we inside of us have a heart of a servant, have a heart of someone who is willing to help. I'm here for you. I am a resource to you. I'm not here to take anything away from you that you're not willing to spend. I am a resource to you. And when you can transfer that emotion to someone, dude, they're going to tell everyone about you. Hey, you've got to use my guy, Robert. You've got to use them. They're so good. You've got to do this. I've had people just tell their friends. I've seen my book of business go up like 30 grand from someone just telling someone, not even having a call or anything. They just said, hey, you got to start buying from this company because they just do such a great job. They do such a great job with this. You got to buy it. You turn your prospect not just into a customer, but into a vehicle of marketing for your product. When you are there to serve them, you get so much more. This is how every restaurant in the planet grows. Every single restaurant on the planet grows this way. Every single restaurant's like, oh, where's a good place to eat? Oh, you gotta go to this place. They've got great old fashions. They've got a great steak and the service there is incredible. That's how all food restaurants, when they're new, that's how all of them start. It's all referrals. So when you can make a connection by seeing your prospects, seeing the good, seeing the image of God in them, and you can be radically honest and transparent with them, and you are there to serve them, that will 10x your sales incredibly. It's a force multiplier. But it's something you gotta get right in here. It's something you've got to get right in your head and in your heart. There is no word track for this. You give, and one of my podcasts with Joe Costa, high ticket sales, he made a great analogy. He's like, you can give the same script to two different sales professionals. One will crush it, one won't, because they go inner on the inner game. So my question to you today is, what's inside of you? What are your intentions? Do you see the good and the glory of God inside of your prospects? Are you honest? Or are you just trying to make a buck? Are you really, truly there to serve them? Or are you there to serve yourself? And you got to take a hard look at yourself and say, is this sales career something I can be proud of? Are you pursuing connection or manipulation? And again, I'm not here to judge you. Okay. If you are one of those hard ass manipulative salespeople, okay. Like that's a path you want to go down. That's okay. Maybe you make more money than me. Maybe you have more success than anyone else. As for me, I am betting my entire career on this concept of connection. I am going to bet the rest of the 40, 50 years I'm in sales on this concept. I believe in it. And I think that it's a way for me to look back and say that I'm proud. Over the course of my career in sales, I have not scammed one person. I have never lied to one person. I've been wrong. Okay. I've given wrong information and I've immediately corrected that. But I have never intentionally told someone something that wasn't true. And while I have had to use sometimes at times manipulative tactics to get something done, almost all the time those people love me for it. But where I want to go and where I want to continue to go and where I want to invite you to come with me is this pursuit of radical connection to our prospects, radically seeing the good in them, being able to have an honest discussion about what they can expect from the product and what they shouldn't expect from the product, being willing to let someone go who's not a good fit, but also being willing to close with all of your might because you know that your product or your coaching or your service or your offer, whatever it is, you know it's right for them and you're not going to be afraid to have the hard conversation and push when you need to, because sometimes you have to push people. Sometimes you have to motivate people. Sometimes you have to do this, and not for you, but for them, so they can live a good life. Maybe they need a life insurance policy and they're being dumb and you've got to push them a little bit. Maybe they're severely overweight and you have a fitness offer and you've got to push. You've got to motivate them maybe a little bit, but you're doing that for their sake, not because you're just trying to make a quick buck. And even when you are doing that from a hard position of service, that's still felt. And people will still thank you for doing that. So I invite you on this journey of seeking greater connection, of trying to not be manipulative to get things done, but really trying to be connected and in flow with your. If you like this content, please again, like, share, and subscribe. I always appreciate you guys. Until next time, keep selling.